Welcome to the RocketGirl Show. I'm Belinda Sandor, also known as Rocket Girl, and today we're going to talk about not needing to have all the answers to all the questions all the time and how that can really benefit you. So let's get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm thrilled you're here with me today. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm Belinda Sandor, founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor aspiring and established virtual assistants to create, grow, and scale their businesses. And I work with my students in my free online community, my courses, and my coaching programs. So today I'm going to be your host for the Rocket Girl Show. This is my weekly live stream show that airs every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And each episode of the Rocket Girl Show is packed with useful information, whether or not you've been a VA for a while or you're just figuring out if it's for you. So I'd love to hear where you're coming in from in the comments. So please let me know. We're streaming all over the place. We are on Twitter. I guess it's called X now. We're on X. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are all the places. We're on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button. We are in the process of working on our YouTube page, and I'm very excited about the transformation that is occurring on that page because there's a ton of information there. There's almost 600 videos. So lots going on over there. All right. So hello. So Yvonne is here. Hello. Hi from YouTube. Oh, it looks like Facebook wasn't cooperating today. Okay, cool. All right, well, that's good to know. I wonder, it looks like it is here, but that's all right. Things happen. Tina's here from Germany. Good. Hello, Stephanie. I haven't seen you for a while. That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about this concept of not needing to have all the answers. All right. Because I know that many of us are very, very uncomfortable with this, right? Very, very uncomfortable. And so I want to talk about a conversation I had with a client. All right. So her debit card. So I get prepaid for my time. It's called the debit card system. And you can learn about that over on the blog if you're not familiar with it at thevaconnection.com. And so I get prepaid for my time in 5 or 10 hour chunks. And this particular person had bought 5 hours. We're going to call her Joan. All right. Just for conversation. And so she wanted to have a conversation with me. She had 4 hours left on her debit card and the debit card was about to expire. So she had purchased it a year before. And so we get on the call and she says, she tells me that they had a change in direction after they hired me, and that she couldn't use the time that she had left. And, I took a breath, like, okay, I'm listening. And then when she finished, and she asked for a refund. Now, I don't give refunds 99.999% of the time. But she went on to explain to me that since she was a nonprofit, okay, pulling the nonprofit card, right? There were better uses for her money than working with me. And that was delivered, or not delivered, that was experienced a little bit like a punch to the gut. Like I was like, oh, okay, So it seemed like somehow it had become personal. Now I'm in charge of deciding how I'm going to feel about what people say to me, right? But I was a little bit taken aback when she said that. So the situation is she bought the time a year ago. They used 1 hour. I say they, it was a nonprofit. It was a company. And then she had been getting an email from me every single week saying, here's your time. This is how much you have left. And then decided to ask for a refund a year later. And I know myself well enough to think, the good girl in me wants to give her money back right away. Like, let me help you any way I can. And then I thought about it for a minute and I thought, I need to think about this because I have a rule that many of you know is that I don't do things that are going to make me mad. And it could very well make me upset to deliver a refund, right? When I had done my part all along. So what I said to her was, this was probably, I think this was a Wednesday. And I said, I need a couple of days to think about it and I'll get back to you. And I know she was not happy. I could see it, I could hear it in her voice because she just expected that she had asked for the refund and she was just going to get it. Right. And that's okay. That's completely fine. It's good to ask for what you want. Right. So that I did the same thing. And I said, I would get back to her. Now, here's the thing, and I can see my slides are not functioning properly, but so I decided not to give her a refund. And I want to talk about why, but first I don't want to miss the whole point of where I put time between the request and the answer. Right? I put time between the request and the answer because I wanted time to think about it. Now, someone had brought me in on this job as a referral. And so I shot him an email quickly because I wanted to make sure that whatever I did was going to preserve my relationship with him. And it did, absolutely. But after I thought about it, I put everything through the filter of fair. That's something that I do a lot. So the first thing I thought was, okay, my no refund policy was stated clearly, right? It's on the page where people buy my time. It's in an email they get. It's really clear, no refund. Okay. So then the truth is that her nonprofit status has nothing to do with this decision at all, right? Because a nonprofit it's a tax, what's the word? Classification. Right? It doesn't mean they don't make money. I've worked for nonprofits. I've made good money working at a nonprofit. It doesn't have to do with the fact that they don't have any money. It has to do with what they do with the money. Okay. So don't get confused by that. Another client once said to me, well, my business is self-funded. All entrepreneurial business for the most part are self-funded, right? My business was self-funded when I started it and yours is as well. Sometimes we get help from people, but that doesn't make them any different, right? It doesn't make them any different. And then here's the other point, and this is the one that always helps me, is I think about, okay, so what about all the other clients that didn't use their time? Would it be fair to give her, Joan, the money back when I didn't give it back to other people that have not used their time? And the answer is no, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair at all. So the next thing that happened is that I wrote her an email. Right. And I thought about it for a while. And the key when you're in a situation like this that can be, what's the word? Confrontational. Like it could have gone there very quickly because she was like kind of ready to like get into it. And I was like, I need to think. And so I thought a lot about this email and this is what I wrote. And I got right to the point. I've decided to honor my no refund policy. Before deciding to work together, I met with your team for over 30 minutes on Zoom and answered all of your questions, and you committed to working with me for 5 hours. This time is available to you and your team through the end of June. Here's a link to my services page so you can see the many ways that I can help you, right? Hashtag stop talking. And I never heard from her again. And that's totally fine with me because I feel like I was completely in integrity, right? I considered how I felt. I considered her point of view, and made a decision that I would post on a billboard on the side of the highway, right? And so it's good to get clear about these things. And I also did not waste a lot of time. So yes, she had the conversation with me. I probably had some feelings about it for about 30 minutes. I probably told Greg about it. There might have been some, banter about it. And then I just let it settle. I didn't let it take over my time. I didn't take it personally. I thought, wow, okay, that's what she's asking. How do I feel about that? I don't know. I got to think about it. So I, rolled it around my head for a little bit. I decided not to, and I talked to a friend. I absolutely did, an entrepreneur who has had probably similar situations. And then I made my decision. I wrote her this email. You'll notice there are no emotional words here, right? There's no emotional words. I've decided not to honor I've decided to honor my no refund policy. I don't mention the nonprofit. I don't mention the money. I don't mention any of that. And I don't justify any of it. It's very powerful when you can do that. Now, I could have written a different email that would have taken a lot less time, because it's difficult to write fewer words. So you want to acknowledge that, but it's always worth the time and worth the effort. And so I just pointed out, before we decided to work together, this is what happened. This time is available. Here's my services page. And if she would have come back with 4 hours worth of work, I 100% would have done it. I would have done it. Absolutely. And I would have honored it, no matter, as long as it was something that I know how to do. And my services page was available in the before the relationship as well. Right. So think before you make decisions that are important. Be okay with not answering right away. I mean, I know for a lot of times, being a mom, Emily will ask me for something, and it could be something really small or it could be something really big. And I do need to think about it. And I mentioned this in study hall a little while ago, when she asked me for something, whether it's a ride to the mall or a horse, I put it through the filter of, is this going to make me mad, or that for sure. And I'm always looking for yes. I'm always looking for, how can I say yes to this? How can I say yes to this? And sometimes the answer is I can't. And I can't isn't really right. I decided not to, right? I decided not to. So think about that. All right. And I would, yes. So Maria, thank you for that comment. I'm in charge of how I feel when people talk to me. That is a really big one. That is huge, actually, because people will say things to us and we get to decide how we're going to react. And, yesterday, Greg, my husband, is the nicest man on the planet, very patient, amazing. And yesterday I made a comment and he snapped back. And I was like, okay, this never happens. What's going on? Is he hungry? Is he mad? Is he worried? Like, what's going on? And I asked a follow-up question, which was not received well. And I decided to stop talking about it, because the thing is it wasn't important to me. What's more important to me is my relationship with him. And I was not walking away from anything that mattered at all. It was just an observation I had about something in politics. And that's not a good topic with us anyway. But, and I just decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to let this go. It doesn't really matter. I don't need to be right. And it matters zero, Now, if it were something else that mattered, I would lean into it. But you have to really ask yourself the question. And this is the question I asked myself yesterday. Do I want to be right? Or do I want my marriage to be in a good place? And I definitely did not need to be right about whatever this thing was that was in the news. I did not need to be right. Sometimes you do, though. Sometimes you do. All right, good. All right. So I want to make sure you guys know about the VA Kickstart, or the VA Kickstart Your VA Business. Oh my gosh, so many words. Kickstart Your VA Business. We're going to be kicking it off on September 18th at noon, actually at 11 o'clock, because we've added these 5 super cool mindset sessions that are getting juicier and juicier each time we do this. They get a little bit better. So I'm excited for this time. So go over to vakickstart.com, sign up. The Facebook group I think it already has 1,100 people. We're going to have a big group this time, and I am super excited about it. Super excited. So it looks like Maria is already signed up. She's counting the days. That's awesome. Awesome. So yeah, so go over to vakickstart.com. Make sure you join the Facebook group. Okay, if you're on Facebook, that is a great way to get tons of resources, tons of information. And I would love to have you. We're going to talk about all things getting started, okay, and all things next level if you've already started. Because if you don't have the business that you totally want and love, you miss something, and I'm going to tell you what it is. All right? Yes. Oh, good. So here's the comment. Yes, we handle the situation without the attachment of the outcome, no emotions. That's right. Yeah. Hello, Jen. Hello. Good morning. Yes. So go on over, sign up. We're going to talk about services. We're going to talk about how to talk about your work. A lot of people struggle with this. Someone says, what do you do for work? And we just blather on, right? I'm going to give you 2 sentences that are going to change everything. So sign up, jump into the Facebook group, and I would love to help you get started with your business. Okay, good. All right, you guys, Belinda Sandor, Rocket Girl, signing off for now. Bye-bye.